Imagine this. You're walking home after a late night hangout with friends. The streets are dark, quiet, and empty. You're just minutes away from your front door when, bam, a van screeches to a stop beside you. Before you can even react, men in masks jump out, grab you, and throw you inside. You're blindfolded, tied up, heart pounding. You don't know where they're taking you or why, but instead of panicking, you smile because you've got a secret weapon hidden in your sock. This is the mind-blowing true story of Jeremiah Asamuga, the man who tracked his own kidnappers using Google Maps and pulled off one of the smartest survival moves you've probably never heard of. Our story begins in Nigeria in the year 2017. Jeremiah Asamuga was your average young man, sharp, friendly, and tech-savvy. He wasn't a superhero or a spy, but what he did have was brains and a deep love for technology. One evening, after attending a small gathering with friends, Jeremiah began his walk home. The streets were quiet. He was scrolling through his phone casually when it happened. Out of nowhere, a white van slammed to a stop beside him. The side door flew open and three men jumped out. They didn't ask questions. They didn't say a word. They grabbed him, dragged him in, tied his hands, and blindfolded him. Jeremiah's heart raced, not because he was afraid, but because he knew something. He still had his phone. They hadn't searched him properly. And that mistake was going to change everything. Lying on the cold metal floor of the van, Jeremiah stayed silent, but his mind was racing. He could feel the edge of his smartphone pressing against his leg. The kidnappers didn't think twice about it. In the chaos, they'd missed it. And here's where it gets genius. With his hands tied in front of him and the phone slightly shifted into his sock, Jeremiah wiggled his fingers inside the fabric and somehow managed to open Google Maps. Now remember, he's blindfolded. He's trying to operate a touchscreen he can't even see through the fabric of a sock. But he wasn't going to give up. After a few tense minutes, Jeremiah did something that changed everything. He activated Google's Share My Location feature and sent his live GPS coordinates to a group of close friends. Boom! A blue dot appeared on their phones, and it was moving. His friends were stunned. They immediately knew something was wrong. This wasn't a joke. This was a real-life kidnapping in progress. So they did what any smart friend group would do. They called the authorities, and the chase began. Back in the van, Jeremiah pretended to be unconscious. The kidnappers had no idea they were being tracked in real time through Google Maps. For hours, Nigerian authorities worked with Jeremiah's friends to follow the signal. Every time the kidnappers made a turn, Google updated the location. It was like a live video game. Only this wasn't a game. Eventually, the van reached a remote compound outside the city. Jeremiah was dragged inside a building where he was held under armed watch. The clock was ticking, but the signal kept updating. Police surrounded the area, inching closer. And then, just before sunrise, they struck. Boom! SWAT teams kicked in the doors. There was Kay screaming, gunfire in the air. And in the middle of it all, there was Jeremiah, tied up but alive. He was rescued within hours of being kidnapped. All because he thought fast, acted smart, and used the one tool his captors never thought could defeat them: Google Maps. The kidnappers were arrested on the spot. But Jeremiah, he walked out of that nightmare as a symbol of modern heroism. Not with fists or firepower, but with tech intelligence and courage under pressure. He didn't just save himself. He showed the world how technology, when used wisely, can save lives. It wasn't about luck. It was about knowing what to do when every second counts. Most of us use Google Maps to find restaurants or figure out where we parked. But for Jeremiah Asamuga, it was a lifeline, a beacon, a silent SOS. The next time you open that little blue app, remember, it's not just about directions. Sometimes it's about survival. And in this case, it was about outsmarting evil, one tap at a time.